This week's podcast is brought to you by Northwest Lighting Incorporated of Tracy. Drew and his crew have the solutions for all your LED lighting needs. They don't just sell lighting, they stand behind the products they sell. Call 507-629-4160 and let Northwest Lighting light your world.
Welcome and thank you for listening to the 51st installment of the Headlight Hot Seat. I am Per, I am your host, of course, and we are joined today by our fourth two-timer, and I say that with all respect. I know that sounds like a derogatory phrase, but two-time person in our studio here, artist in residence and author, Sammi Jo Miller. Thank you, Sammi, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So for those who didn't catch Sammy's last podcast, Sammi, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, please?
Yeah, I am a Minnesota-based artist. I travel around Minnesota teaching classes with libraries, organizations, community education schools, and I also do studio art and show works of art and bodies of work across Minnesota.
How is the book?
Oh, it's going well. I kind of launched it this year, so I've been traveling and doing story times at libraries with groups of kids, and we do a STEAM workshop afterwards where they get to build with blocks and kind of learn a little bit about making a plan. It's been so much fun. I've done the workshop at 4 libraries so far, and I'm hoping to bring it to some schools next year.
Every time I hear the word STEAM, I get confused just for a second because it used to be STEM.
Yeah, some people still call it STEM.
Yeah, I'm sure they do. Why STEAM? What is the A for?
Art.
Art.
Yep. It just includes art in all that science stuff because I really love being able to, and I do this in my summer camps too, incorporate science in art in some way or incorporate math in their project so that the kids understand that art doesn't stand on its own. A lot of the time, art is integrated in everything everybody does. They just don't realize it, that that's art.
Yeah.
You know, so really everybody's an artist. They just don't realize it. So teaching the kids that those skills can translate to different areas of education or life is important to me.
I kind of asked that tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see what your reaction was. Art, dummy. What do you think? So let's talk about a project that you're working on for Tracy at the Aquatic Center. How's that going?
It's going really well. I got the design done. We did the workshop where community members were invited to come and complete a worksheet, which was like grid paper. So for those of us that are old enough, we remember 8-bit Nintendo. The kids were kind of designing, the kids are kind of designing characters in that like 8-bit format for us to be able to put the plastic plugs into the fence. So the kids designed individual pieces and then I put them together to make a single like installation. So it's a full mural. It's going to span about 40 feet on the side of the pool. Wow. And I counted 4,463 squares. For the order to get the order, I had to count all the colors. And so that's how many squares I counted. And honestly, I probably counted all of them twice just to make sure.
Yeah, of course.
So that's all up. I actually have a project blog on my website for the Tracy Pool project. So if people want to catch up, I know the library has the link, but it's on sjmillerarts.com and there's a project blog in the menu if people want to look at how that's coming along and see the design.
Let's paint a picture. Well, you kind of already did, but I'm trying to envision what this project is going to look like. Is this going to face the exterior, like people walking by, or the people in the pool themselves?
Actually, I was at the pool the other day. I brought my daughter into town, went to the Tracy Pool for the first time. I was like, I should visit, right?
Yes, you should.
And I was planning to put it on the north-facing fence and have it face outside. But as I was there, I really think that maybe the east fence facing inward might be a better decision because then people at the pool can enjoy it. It can still be seen from outside. It's not blocking anyone's view from around the outside. So still kind of discussing placement at this time. But yeah, definitely looking at our options.
I like the second part, the second version better because it's by the little baby pool we used to call it. Is this something that can be, is it double-sided?
You can see it from both sides.
Okay.
It just has a more solid coverage from the front side. Like the back side would have shadows because they're cups. So when you pop them in, the front side would be smooth and the back side would have little indents.
I see.
So it just wouldn't read the same, but you'd still be able to see it. And from a distance, it wouldn't make a difference.
And is this permanent?
Not at all. It can be popped out at any time. Okay. That's kind of part of the reason why we included the kids in the community because it is very easy to take the pieces out. Like if the kids decided to vandalize, they could pop them out. But getting the kids involved, I think, will help with that. There's been one on 3rd Street in St. Cloud for about, I want to say 10 years now, and it has not been vandalized.
Okay.
on 3rd Street in St. Cloud, which is, if you know the area, it's not the best neighborhood. And I was really surprised to see that it lasted that long. No color fade. It was kind of part of the inspiration for the project because it did have the durability and can easily be replaced. So if the kids pop them out, we're going to have a few extras to be able to replace those.
So you can theoretically take them out like for winter. Is that,
You wouldn't need to.
You don't need
Nope.
to though. Are they? What are they made of?
Plastic.
You said cups. It's plastic. Color.
You see them. You've probably seen them at like high schools. They like to do team logos in the fence with these little pop-ins. They kind of trended a few years ago.
The high school does that. There's a tradition out at Tracy Area High School where for prom, like vote Sammy, and they're like, I don't know, red Solo cups. They're just basic.
Oh, okay, okay.
Are they?
No,
like that?
they're more flat. They're like rectangular. So imagine a cup that fits into a chain link fence.
Okay, so square.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. And they're specially ordered?
Yeah, they have little clips so they can clip into the squares right next to each other and you won't see the gap.
Oh, I see. I can't wait to see that.
I was like, the physics behind it is actually kind of cool, but
Yeah.
I'm ready to play with them.
What's the timeline for this? Is
Well,
this
we're
summer
kind
yet?
of, it's this summer. We're waiting on some bureaucracy right now. So there's,
red
mail
tape.
and then banking and then shipping and coordinating with the vendors. And it's just a little bit of bureaucracy. So as soon as that's done, we're going to be starting installation. So
And that's not the fun part.
no,
The
this
fun
is
part
not the fun part.
installation.
Yeah.
Very cool. The downtown mural, I hear that's hit a little bit of a snag.
Yes, we are on a pause. We got some feedback. It was our first. So Val and I at the library, Valerie Quist, we do grant applications together. And we went for a state level grant, which has a little bit higher budget for that large of a project because we're planning to do the whole side of the library there and just really transform the space and make it welcoming for people driving into town. Like, oh, that's downtown. That's where I'm supposed to be going.
Right.
But we didn't qualify for the grant this year, so we're going to keep trying. We might try for a local grant with the Southwest Minnesota Arts Council, or go for the state grant again. We have quite a few projects lined up, and we are very passionate about the library mural. I think it'll be a good fit, so we're going to keep trying on that one.
Very much so. I know downtown Marshall has a couple murals, and I was at the Independent when they were being put up, and a lot of people thought, "Why are we doing this? What's the point? It's just a building." And those same people, I guarantee you, now when they drive by or walk by, they're like, "Yeah, this is pretty sweet." Why are murals, do you think, so important for small towns?
Small towns specifically, I think they really give a sense of community pride. They can really represent how a community feels about their history, about their current culture, about what they're doing now. Like, I really like to reflect the people that are in the town now, because as much as we love our history, and I love history, I've done a few history murals and love to dive into that. I also like to reflect on who's there now and what are they doing. I feel like that's equally as important as respecting and talking about our history. So it's fun. People find a sense of place when they have a mural or they say, "Oh yeah, I've been there." Like one of the kids was at the Marshall Library Wednesday for a story time, and I was showing the kids a few examples of my work, and one of the kids was like, "Oh, I've seen that one." So they had been to that town. I mean, 40 miles away from Marshall, and she was like, "Oh, I've seen that." So it's a sense of place. It identifies that city. It helps people remember their experiences there. So it's also good for tourism as well as the community.
Yes, very much. And, the murals in Marshall are Marshall-centric. They say something about Marshall or the region even. And Tracy's does the same thing. You got the mural, the mini mural, I'll call it, at the liquor store, Boxcar Liquors. But the one inside the library, talk about that a little bit and how that,
Oh gosh,
it's way up. It's
I could go on about that one for
that's
hours.
fine. That's fine. We have plenty of time, and I'm sure you do so well on podcasts. I'm
Oh,
sure
thank
people
you.
love listening to you. But
I'm always so nervous.
this one was I didn't know murals could be inside. That sounds weird, but usually when you think of murals, they're outside. They're exterior murals. But this one is very unique, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm still surprised at what some people consider a mural. I entered a mural competition last year where their mural size was 2 foot by 2 foot. I was like, I wouldn't consider that a mural. That's an average art piece for me. So it's what people consider a mural, I guess, how whoever that artist is defines it. But the one in the library, I actually call it my baby. That's what it's referred to in the studio when I'm talking to friends. I'm like, the one in the Tracy Library is my baby. It took 4 months. It was a lot
That was
of
your first one?
no, it wasn't my first
your
one.
first?
It was my first charcoal mural. So it was the first time I did a charcoal mural. I work in charcoal in my studio a lot. That is the medium that I work the most in. But translating it to a 4 foot by 53 foot second story mural installation was a bit of a challenge and took a little longer than expected. So that one I was a little off on my time frame. But Val was very patient. The grant organization was also very patient. And it was a new experience for me, but I absolutely loved being able to dive into the research. One of my favorite parts was going to the museum, and he pulled out I believe it's John. I'm so terrible.
Wentworth,
Yeah. He pulled out all the pictures for us, and I got to go through all the pictures in the back and really pick through everything. And I'm such a history buff that was like a dream, just sit in a museum and get to go through the backroom photographs. So much fun.
The process is fun.
Yeah. And then I assembled all of those together in what I would call a plan. You just kind of lay everything out for an idea of where it's going. Yeah, like a proof. And but that had to change because my measurements from what I estimated and what I had taken, the windows weren't all the same size. So we were learning a little bit about the building in that the spaces between the windows and all the windows weren't the same size. So the layout did adjust a little bit. And you can kind of see that. I have the project blog up for that mural still. So it kind of documents the process, talks a little bit about the challenges that I overcame and what it meant for the community or stories that I got. That's also one of my favorite parts is when people share stories about what they're seeing in the mural as it evolves. I had community members tell me about, my family used to own that building, or I remember so-and-so used to always be at that building or used to host this activity. And that was a lot of fun to hear those stories. I think that's even better than the museum, honestly, to interact with the community as I'm creating the artwork.
Yeah, that's cool, and it's so much better than a blank wall. I mean, I hate blank walls. It's just, my daughter lives in a big house in Watertown, and it's got like a taupe color, huge wall, vaulted ceiling, whatever.
She needs some art.
She needs some art. I tell her that every time I go there. It's like, you got to get something on that wall. Have your boyfriend kill an elk and mount it or something. But and she says, yeah, we just can't decide on it, but you need art. I want to talk a little bit about the process you said and learning things about the building. Does frustration set in? Do artists, I have to assume, when they're working on big projects, you get a little,
I was going to say, you don't know me well. I get very frustrated. My husband will attest to it. There are times where I like to say it's just not working. Doing art it's a skill, but it has to be flowing. It has to work. Sometimes you sit down to draw a picture and it's just not artistic today. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah. It just isn't working. So when you're working on a large project, there were a couple of days for the library mural that I came in and I went up there and I started and it just wasn't working. I just couldn't. I was like, nope, it's just not working today. And you end up throwing a whole 8-hour day because you just can't get into the rhythm.
Is it a creative block?
Yeah, it might be a creative block. I guess I've never considered it that because at that point I don't feel, once I'm executing, it doesn't feel as creative for me, actually. The creative process kind of lies in developing the project and putting together the mock-up. And doing all of that is more the creative part. I feel like when I'm in there trying to actually execute it, it's less creative because all the creative work has already been done. Yeah. It's just... I'm kind of like a glorified printer. Putting it on the wall is how I feel about it.
Okay, that's how I'll refer to you in the future.
That's fair.
Artist in residence, no. Glorified printer.
Glorified printer, yeah. Yes.
But in the case like the mural at the library, you have a deadline.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little bit more pressure, isn't it? You just don't have this huge block of time. You have to have it done at a certain time, right? And
that particular project was very flexible because it was my first one, and SMOC, which is the Southwest Minnesota Arts Board, is flexible as long as you're communicating with them. So since the city of Tracy and Val at the library didn't have a problem with it going a little longer, we just reached out to them and let them know that we were going to be a little longer on our deadline, and they just extend it. So it's not that big of a deal most of the time. Sometimes cities will do projects in coordination with construction or have a big event going on that they want the project finished by. That puts a little bit more of a time deadline on it. But most of the time it's pretty flexible if we're not competing with something like that or waiting.
Yeah. So does SMOC, how do they police that? Or is it like the honor system where you say, yep, I'm behind?
It's really casual. You would email their grant coordinator and just let her know. You do the same thing if you have budget issues, because as much as you try to predict the future, sometimes the price of things changes and you have to let them know, hey, we needed to spend an extra $50 here because our supplies went over or a vendor changed price or shipping changed. Okay. So adjustments are needed on grants all the time. So they're familiar and receptive, usually, as long as it's reasonable.
Well, we encourage everyone to go meet Sammi Jo's baby. at the library. Speaking of the library, let's touch on a couple of
Yeah.
things that are coming up through the library and grants to help keep the kiddos busy this summer. The first one is a theater art camp for ages 4 through 6 on July 21st through the 23rd. Talk about the theater camp. That sounds really neat.
I'm really excited about it. We tried to get it off the ground last year, actually, and we only had a couple students registered. So we just didn't have enough to really justify hosting the class. So I'm hoping that we get a few more registered this year because it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm trying to decide whether we're going to draft and do like a full little, like maybe 15-minute production with the kiddos and develop costumes, or if we're going to practice more on like confidence, stage presence, and just acting activities. I guess it would kind of depend upon whether or not I have time to write a script, but I am so excited to do the performance aspect. My teenager, who is a thespian, he has been performing since he was 5, is going to help me out at summer camps this year. Because I'm not a performer. I hate a stage. Honestly, I'm so nervous. I get stage fright. I can't public speak. But my son is fantastic. I'm speaking to a microphone, not to a group of people.
That's true. That's a good point. Don't think of it as you're going to have 1 million listeners this weekend.
I'm just talking to you.
Which would be nice to have 1 million listeners, maybe 50 tops. But
it's growing. It's growing.
Is this? I hope so. Is this building up to a performance? Do you like a public thing?
No, it would just be for parents.
Okay.
It's kind of set up like some of the camps my son took when he was younger. We're doing 3 days, and we'll build costumes and do the exercises. And then if we decide to do a production, that would be like the last 10, 15 minutes of our final camp day. And we'd invite parents to come a little early and watch the show.
So what's the ultimate goal of this for you? What do you want the kids to walk away from? Because you said there could be 2 different things.
Yeah. Confidence is really the big thing. I want the kids to walk away with confidence. If I could wish one thing for our youth, it's that they carry that confidence into adulthood. Like my 6-year-old is fantastically confident. We call her an aggressive friend maker because she'll just walk up to a stranger and be like, "Hi, you're my friend now." You know, like other kids at the park. And I love that. And I hope she keeps that like energy going into her teenage years. And I want to help the kids have that confidence. And theater is something that there are opportunities for in our area. But for the younger kids, there isn't a whole lot to get them in there or have an understanding of what that is. So it's just kind of like a little intro for elementary kids that might be interested in that in the future, because there are some good theater programs and lots of good people working to keep theater alive in our rural communities.
Yep. I think this is the Nutcracker year, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
In Marshall.
Oh,
They do it every other year.
Oh, okay.
The Nutcracker, and it's really, really good. So
I'll have to check it out.
yes, for sure. And then the other one coming up at the library this summer is Summer Arts Camp. This is an art and wonder camp and art and exploration for kids 7 to 11, and that's a week after the theater camp, July 28th through the 30th.
Yes.
Let's go through this, Sammy. What's this about?
I want to say it's either our 4th or 5th year doing camps in Tracy. I'd have to look at my calendar to be sure. But yeah, we do 3 2-hour-long sessions with each age group, and they do usually between 3 and 4 projects during the class. Like I said earlier, I like to incorporate something that's kind of a wow factor, something that the kids are really going to remember, something that photographs really well, and then also incorporate the sneaky learning of the vocabulary and the technical art skills. So we're going to do a range of that this year. We're going to be a little less crafty this year than we've been in years past, but I'm really focusing on like basic art skills. And like I said, just throwing in that project that gives the wow factor so that the kids are still walking away really excited, even though they had to learn something first.
It's cool when kids don't know they're learning.
Yeah, that's my favorite way to teach kids.
Yeah, they don't know. That's really neat. And then the Teen Summer Arts Series through SMOC and Community Education. What's that about?
Oh, yeah, I needed to mention the camps and theater camps are also sponsored by the Southwest Minnesota Arts Board.
Okay.
Our funding came from that grant through the library that applied for that one. And then Community Education, Bill Tower at the high school, applied for a grant to get those programs. So it's a 3-program series for teens. The first one was last month, and we did a make your own sketchbook workshop, which went really well. Got a couple of new kids for that one, which was fun. And then we're doing sketchbook. So next week is the library hosts a sketchbook for teens. And then the week after that is the community education sketchbook. Okay. So it's basically the same program. We're continuing it for the kids if they want to come for the second week. And that program is one where they bring their own supplies and materials and work on something, their own art. Because how often do teenagers just have time or choose to sit down and make their own artwork.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just a designated time for them to come and sit and do art. And then I'm there to help them if they have questions about their medium, technical questions, or, even more advanced questions. And then the option is there to have a peer review, which is kind of like a critique for artists in college. If we want to discuss the art, if you want some feedback, we're there for that. And we talk about how to do that professionally, because that is something that as an adult artist, you'll need to know how to do. So it's kind of training them for how to set aside time for your art and how to talk about your art, which I really love for teenagers. Wish that program was there for me as a kid.
Yeah, I know, right? Me too. And these are all in the library basement, right?
Yes. And then the last one, there's one more program with that. It is the graphic design program. So it's just an intro to digital design of any kind. Again, it's with the teenagers, I try to be really flexible. They don't want to sit and take a class like they're in school. No. So it's kind of bring your program, bring what you're working on. We'll touch base. I'll answer your questions. We'll look it up if I don't know. It's a community learning environment for the teenagers. They're getting to know their peers. Who else does graphic design? Who can I ask questions of? How do I find information about how to do that? Because there's so much to do in graphic design that you can't answer all the kids' questions just by going through a tutorial. Right. So it's like, do what you want to do, and then we'll find the answers together. And I learn just as much as they do sometimes. Yeah,
you learn too. That's the real beauty part of it. You want the kids to learn, but maybe
they always teach me things. They always teach. Yeah. Every year I learn something new from the kids.
Yeah. And a lot of kids you're touching this summer, and it's not just Tracy. Talk about your itinerary, your typical week.
You don't want to hear it.
Yes, I do. I got to hear it.
Lots and lots of paperwork in a typical week. I did a teen artist talk in Slayton this summer, and I told the kids, I said, honestly, 90% of what I do is paperwork at my desk. I wish it was different, but paperwork and math. Two of the big things you have to be good at. Yeah, very boring, very boring. So when it gets to the fun stuff, I'm like, nope, not looking at the email for 2 days. I got to do the fun stuff. But yeah, I'm all over the place. I was telling you earlier, I'm in Jackson this evening. I'm opening my first solo exhibition since my last one in Tracy, which was a couple years ago. Okay. It's called Of Light and Flight. And the opening reception is tonight, and it's up through the end of August. So if anyone's getting down to the Jackson area, the Jackson Center for the Arts has that on display. Okay. Very nice people down there. Let's see, what else do I have going on this summer? Lots of stuff in Tracy. I'm doing the art camps also in Marshall this year. I wasn't able to subsidize funding, but I did get a business to partner with me to use their space, which is fantastic. It's a dance studio, and they're going to open it up for art camps, which hopefully can be a good partnership going forward. I've been meaning to get off the ground in Marshall, so that's fun. I also started working with the Marshall Area Fine Arts Council to be their exhibition chair and coordinate their exhibition space. I'm excited to meet more artists in the area because sometimes I feel like I'm in a little bubble. I'm like, I know there are artists down here. Where are they? What are they doing in their free time? So I'm meeting more and more. Let's see, what else is fun and exciting? I'm working with Ivanhoe on a proposed project for a library mural, something historically based, very similar to Tracy's. We're in the very early stages of development, looking at pursuing a grant with SMOC. They are also looking at a history one. We're going to do a vinyl approach this time. So I'm going to do all of the sketches and work, but we're going to scan it and convert it digitally to be printed by AP Design to be a vinyl in their library with their new renovations that they're doing this year. So that one has a timeline.
Do you bring your kid with you?
Sometimes. Anywhere? She came with on a couple of story times.
Okay.
Because that was a lot of fun. She adds a lot of energy.
What's her name?
Thea.
Cool. You got a lot of stuff on your plate, and it's awesome.
Always.
And before you get out of here, though, I hate to bring this up, but it's trivia time.
Yeah, I've been watching some trivia shows.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't want to embarrass myself again.
Anyone who listened to Sammi Jo a few weeks ago knows that she didn't score very well on her last round.
There's no room for trivia in here. I got too much going on.
Yeah, you do. And I skipped art this time.
Good.
We're just going to go with music.
Okay.
Or just a random. Those are two categories.
Okay.
And random is, you never know what you're going to get. You might nail them all. You might.
I'm going to pick music because I think my husband will make fun of me. I never know the artist names, but we're going to try it.
Well, the first one is an artist name, and I think you'll get it because it's rather simple. Who was known as the Queen of Soul and released Respect in 1967?
Oh, I could sing the song.
Oh, let's do it.
No.
I won't sing, but I'll record you singing.
Oh, I'm going to embarrass myself. Was it Aretha Franklin?
It was.
Oh, good. Yay. I shouldn't be so happy about that, but I really am.
No, I think everyone knows that, but Sammy, you knew it.
I did. It was in there.
Had to work at it a little bit. Okay, question number 2. Which Motown group sang "My Girl" in 1964? And I'm sorry, these are way back. These are in the 60s,
Yeah,
and I didn't realize
it's a
that
good
until-
genre of music.
It is very good. I'm not knocking the genre, but you're younger.
I have 2 that I'm thinking. It's
You know the song. You could sing
I know,
that one too.
I know.
You could.
I'm thinking the Temptations or the Supremes. Is it one of those?
Well, wasn't the Supremes women?
Yeah. So is it the Temptations?
It is.
Yay! It was one of my first guesses. I feel good about
You
that.
said it first. 2 for 2. You're doing very well. You're making up for.
I was like better than last
Yeah,
time.
very much so. We're going back to this. These are all in the 60s, by the way.
Oh gosh.
I'm just looking at that, but that's fine. You're doing well. Who had a hit with "California Dreaming" in 1965?
Again, I'm
another
singing it in
song-
my head.
Me too.
I have no idea. That one I really don't know.
That was the Mamas and the Papas.
Oh, I love the Mamas and the Papas. I should have known
Well,
that.
not enough, apparently.
Yeah.
That's okay. You're 2 for 3.
Like I said, the artist names usually escape me. My husband makes fun of me all the time because I'm like, "Isn't this band?" And he's like, "Pff, "No."
No, but you can sing everyone.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
the songs.
know all the lyrics.
100%. Okay. What was the title of the 1967 album by the Beatles that features the song "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds"?
Oh, I love the Beatles.
Everyone loves the Beatles, and
Yeah.
everyone loves this album. And
The
you'll
only
know it. You'll know it when I say it if you don't get it.
I was like, the only album title coming to my mind is The Yellow Submarine, and I don't think it's on that one.
No, I don't think it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is a popular one, but it's tough. 'Cause like
See,
I said, you're younger.
I don't know the Beatles by their albums because most of my music consumption during my lifetime was not albums.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. And we don't even have CDs anymore.
Yeah.
So that is Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club. Oh.
I can see the album cover.
So can I.
Yeah.
Yep. Now and I can see a Yellow Submarine album cover too. All right, finally, you got to redeem yourself here.
Okay.
And you will get this one.
Okay.
And I'm going to go on a limb and guarantee. Who had a hit with "I Got You, Babe" in 1965?
Oh gosh. Now you set me up for embarrassment here.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that. But again, it's so obvious. It's a duo. It's a husband and wife. who were later
Sonny and
divorced.
Cher.
Absolutely.
I had to picture it. I see them singing it together. There's an
Yep.
iconic video of them doing
And
that.
you are going to leave my office today humming one of these songs.
I
know
am,
you are.
absolutely.
I know you are. Sammi Jo, thank you so much. You are off the hot seat.
Thank you for having me.
This week's podcast was brought to you by Northwest Lighting Incorporated of Tracy. Drew and his crew have the solutions to all your LED lighting needs. They don't just sell lighting, they stand behind the products they sell. Call 507-629-4160 and let Northwest Lighting light your world.